One of the 5 major projects on the federal government's list is the expansion of the Red Chris copper and gold mine in northwestern BC. Here's where it is. It is way up there, about a 7-hour drive from either Whitehorse or Terrace. It's remote, the traditional territory of the Tahltan Nation. British Columbia may be beautiful, but this part of the province is breathtaking.
It's an important step in reconciliation and further developing the potential of northern BC, and is part of a bigger package.
There was surprise when the Prime Minister put Red Chris on the list. Its approval is up to the province, the nation, and the company, not the feds. But highlighting this project sends a signal that the federal government wants to transform this part of northwestern BC. The economic opportunity is big, but there are risks.
It's a region where we'd like to operate for many generations to come.
John Mullally is the head of external relations at Newmont. That's the American company that owns 70% of the operation. Why does Newmont want to expand?
The copper is a very attractive mineral within our portfolio.
Why so attractive? Copper conducts electricity. Want solar panels? You need copper. Want EVs? Copper. Want to build transmission lines, AI data centers, battery storage? Copper, copper, copper. And have you seen the price of gold lately? Combine the 2 minerals and shareholders see dollar signs, and governments start counting royalty checks.
So in a way, is it like 2 for the price of 1? You get some copper and you get some gold with the same mining operation?
It is. It's very much like that. It's one of the most attractive jurisdictions in the world.
But the thing is, Newmont's current open pit mine is almost at the end of its life, just a couple of years left. What the company wants to do is move the operations underground and do something called block cave mining. UBC professor John Steen explains it this way.
It's sort of like upside down mining, upside down surface mining. That's one way of thinking about it.
Basically, miners drill a hole deep underground. Gravity forces the rock to collapse into the hole, then those rocks can be collected and processed.
And that's a much more efficient way of mining. It uses a lot of gravity to collapse and break the rock.
What are the risks of block cave mining?
Yeah, so uncontrolled rock fractures is the biggest risk.
Remember last summer? 3 miners were rescued after spending 60 hours trapped in a BC mine. That was Red Chris, and those miners were doing exploratory work for the block cave project.
And from a block cave perspective, we are developing the lessons learned and going through our investigation, and we'll be finalizing that shortly. And we are confident that we can do this safely.
One of the big reasons to expand, jobs. Right now, about 1,500 people work at the mine. If the mine closes, they're out of work. With expansion, they get to keep their jobs, and the number would go up to about 1,800 jobs during construction. More than 200 people working at the mine are members of the Tahltan Nation. The Tahltan Nation is partners with the mine. Its development corporation makes $100 million annually from Red Chris. That would continue with expansion. The nation didn't want to do an interview for this story, but when the national projects list was announced, it put out a statement saying any expansion of the Red Chris mine will only happen with Tahltan consent. Those negotiations are happening now.
The bottom line is no consent, no mine. That's just a fact.
One of the things the nation and the province is considering is how the expansion could impact the environment. On the plus side, block cave mining generates far fewer greenhouse gases than surface operations. Adrienne Berchtold is with the environmental group Skeena Wild. It's been monitoring the Red Chris project for 5 years. She worries about water.
There was a series of, I would say, oversights on the part of the government that have resulted in long-standing environmental issues. All of Red Chris mine's waste leaks into the surrounding environment, into the creeks and lakes, at rates that are much greater than what was predicted and planned for.
In fact, the province of British Columbia has repeatedly fined the mine for instances of failing to monitor groundwater. Newmont says that dates back to before it bought the mine and says it's spending more than $150 million to improve monitoring.
Like, government should not be speeding up a process that they are already not getting right at regular speeds. If we're seeing all of these issues arising at Red Chris under the current regulatory structure at a normal speed, then how many more problems are we going to see as they fast track?
And it's not just Red Chris she worries about. Check out all the proposed and active mining sites in the area, many owned by multinational corporations in partnership with Indigenous nations. Now, the feds say they want to develop industry and conserve land, creating what the Prime Minister calls the Northwest Critical Conservation Corridor. It's kind of like having your cake and eating it too. Build the infrastructure to support mining at the same time as leaving vast amounts of land untouched.
This project could unlock development of transmission, lead to future investment in roads and telecommunications.
As Newmont sees it, Red Chris is just the beginning.
So you are talking about a very significant potential economic story within the region.
For all the support, it's not a done deal. The province and the Tahltan have to sign off on assessments and approvals. Then the company will make a call on the business case. There's money to be made here, but everyone's still sorting out at what cost.